Good evening, friends. Segment 1, the major headlines. Welcome back, health enthusiasts and tech minds. Today is July 30th, 2026, and the medical world is moving at warp speed. In this video, we are breaking down the biggest, game-changing updates in health and medicine that dropped over the last 24 hours. We have incredible news from the FDA clearing a life-saving cardiac device, massive updates on the long-term future of cancer research, a surprising twist in how a father's lifestyle impacts his child before birth, and the brand new clinical guidelines you need to know about. Whether you are a medical professional, a student, or just someone invested in your longevity, stay tuned because what we are discussing today is reshaping clinical care. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's dive right into today's medical bulletin. Segment 2, FDA breakthrough for cardiopulmonary support. FDA 510(k) clearance, Total Flow Medical. First up, a major victory for medical device engineering. Today, Canada-based Total Flow Medical officially announced they have received US FDA 510(k) clearance for their innovative Total Flow Medical femoral arterial cannula, or the TFA cannula. Now, for anyone who isn't a cardiac surgeon, let's break down why this matters. During open-heart surgery, patients are placed on a cardiopulmonary bypass machine, which temporarily takes over the function of the heart and lungs. Traditionally, placing a cannula into the femoral artery can restrict critical blood flow down to the lower limb, sometimes leading to ischemia or tissue damage in the leg. The TFA cannula completely solves this. It incorporates a unique distal balloon feature designed to ensure blood continues flowing to the cannulated limb during bypass procedures lasting up to 6 hours. This means significantly fewer leg complications after major cardiac surgeries. It represents a stellar collaboration between perfusionists, engineers, and surgeons to completely rethink extracorporeal circulation. Segment 3, the changing face of oncology and genetics. The cancer survival gap. Next, let's pivot to oncology. Two massive global reports from the World Health Organization and the International Agency for Research on Cancer have highlighted a widening cancer survival gap. While global premature mortality from cancer actually dropped in 75% of countries between 2000 and 2019, the projections looking forward to 2050 are alarming. Cancer incidence is predicted to hit 34.4 million cases annually by 2050, a massive 67% to 70% spike from what we saw just a couple of years ago. The real crisis? The lowest survival rates and the biggest proportional jumps in cases are hitting low to middle income nations. But it's not all grim news. Our fundamental understanding of cancer genetics took a major leap forward today. A landmark study published in Nature has uncovered deep genetic clues explaining why some individuals develop cancer faster than others under the exact same conditions. Using controlled models exposed to environmental DNA-damaging agents, scientists found that while almost all developing tumors activated a classic cellular path known as the MAPK signaling pathway, inherited genetic backgrounds dictated what happened next. Depending on your inherited genes, a tumor might halt or instantly mutate further, duplicating its whole genome to accelerate the cancer. This confirms that our baseline genetics act as a hardwired trajectory for how fast a disease evolves, pushing us closer to true precision medicine. Segment 4, Paternal Diet and Baby Health Traits. Paternal Diet Studies. Now, this next study is bound to start a conversation in the comments section. For decades, prenatal health advice has almost exclusively targeted the mother's diet and lifestyle. But a fresh study published today in the journal Nutrition Research reveals that a father's diet before pregnancy heavily influences a baby's growth and baseline body fat. The research tracked paternal dietary habits and linked them directly to neonatal anthropometry, essentially, the physical measurements of a newborn. The findings showed that a higher consumption of ultra-processed foods by the father prior to conception is directly associated with altered body fat percentages and growth parameters in newborns. This is a massive shift in how we look at reproductive health. It implies that epigenetic markers carried via sperm are highly sensitive to a father's metabolic health. So, future dads, it's time to clean up the diet well before the baby arrives, because your nutrition choices ripple into the next generation. Segment 5, Brand New Clinical Guidelines for Kidney Stones. American Urological Association 2026 Guidelines. If you've ever had a kidney stone, you know it's a level of pain you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. Today, the American Urological Association, AUA, officially dropped their 2026 Medical Management of Kidney Stones guideline. Kidney stones are increasingly common and notorious for recurring. This updated medical roadmap provides doctors with fresh, evidence-based recommendations for adults and pediatric patients alike. The new guidelines emphasize heavily tailored dietary strategies rather than generic advice, alongside targeted pharmacologic therapies designed to block stone recurrence. The focus has shifted from reactive emergency room treatments to hyper-individualized, preventive metabolic care to stop the stones before they even form. Segment 6: The Surge in Transdermal Therapies and Plant Polymers. The shift away from oral medications. Two more fascinating trends to keep on your radar. First, data published today on Medscape reveals a massive surge in hormone replacement therapy use, which has doubled over the past decade. But what's truly interesting is how patients are taking it. There is a massive clinical shift away from oral pills toward transdermal formulations like patches, gels, and topical vaginal therapies, which have grown nearly 3 to 3.5-fold. Why this sudden shift? Clinicians note that transdermal estrogen bypasses the liver, carrying a much lower risk for blood clots compared to classic oral options, making it a safer profile for borderline risk patients. Meanwhile, in biomaterials science, researchers published a study in ACS Biomaterials Science and Engineering showing that lignin, a natural polymer found in plant cell walls, could be the future of human bone repair. By creating lignin silica composites, scientists have successfully stimulated bone apatite biomineralization in vitro. This means that the tough organic material that helps trees stand tall might soon be used in highly biocompatible, degradable matrices to heal human bone fractures faster than traditional synthetic implants. 88% SpO2 threshold in children aged 6 weeks, 12 years, *. Our findings suggest that an 88% SpO2 threshold in children aged 6 weeks, 12 years with acute respiratory illness in general pediatric care reduces treatment burden by reducing hospital stay duration and oxygen therapy across a broad range of respiratory diagnoses, without evidence of short-term harm. The Lancet. Intramuscular vitamin K. The proportion of infants with undocumented intramuscular vitamin K administration at birth in Sweden decreased initially but increased from 0.66% in 2006 to 1.5% in 2021. Infants who did not receive this prophylaxis had increased odds of bleeding and intracranial hemorrhage within the first 6 months of life, with oral vitamin K also linked to an elevated risk for bleeding compared with intramuscular administration. Medscape. Interpretation. Cardiac arrest can be detected with high sensitivity using wrist-derived photoplethysmography, providing first evidence on model performance in true cardiac arrest, specifically in non-shockable cases. Findings support further development of wearable-based cardiac arrest detection technologies to enable earlier recognition for unwitnessed cardiac arrest. The Lancet. Segment 7, Wrap-Up. From the father's pre-pregnancy diet to high-tech plant polymers mending bones, medical science on this 30th of July, 2026, is proving that the future of healthcare is personalized, preventative, and highly innovative. I want to hear from you guys. Which of these updates surprised you the most? Are you shocked by the new data on paternal diets, or are you interested in how the FDA's new bypass cannula will change heart surgery safety? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative, share it with a colleague or friend in the medical field, and make sure you're subscribed for your daily dose of cutting-edge news. Stay healthy, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.